Ghana and Hungary have reinforced their commitment to work together to deepen their relations and provide mutual support at both bilateral and multilateral levels. Now, talking of multilateralism, let's shift our attention to the 5th United Nations Peacekeeping Ministerial Meeting, which was held here in Accra, making Ghana the first on the African continent. Now, the two-day event focused on securing concrete commitments from member states to fill critical gaps, leveraging new technologies, and address key priorities to improve the operational effectiveness of peacekeeping missions. Hello there. Welcome to the only show that brings you happenings in the world of diplomacy and international relations, diplomatic affairs. My name is Harriet Nati. The show comes off on Pan-African television every Saturday between the hours of 4 to 5 o'clock p.m. We are also in over 40 African countries in the interest of Pan-Africanism. And we are also very big on social media, which is Facebook and YouTube. You can also catch up with us in some parts of Europe and get to know what is happening in this area when it comes to diplomacy and international relations. Today on the show, I will be speaking with the Minister for Foreign Affairs of Hungary, and we will be talking about the 5th United Nations Peacekeeping Ministerial Meeting, which took place right here in Accra, and also focus on bilateral relations between Hungary and the Republic of Ghana. There is so much happening between these two countries, and we would want to delve into that right after this break.
Information.
Madam,
me, I have still not got the money for that list of expensive building materials you sent to me. The price of the iron rods have been increased too much, are they?
Madam, relax. Look, that's not why I even called. I just visited IPCP, where the engineers told me everything about Trasacco fast floor.
Trahuanko, please, those people are expensive. Are they not the people building those big houses in town? I beg going to
Madam, in fact, I used to think the same until I visited their office today, and they gave me an estimate of how much it will cost. Yomo, the estimate is real. It's cheaper than the one I even sent you.
Wow.
Building contractors, foremen, masons. Visit IPCP, the Trasacco Fast Floor. Engineers will assist you build an affordable, faster and stronger building.
Oh, madam. It is done.
Wow.
Trasacco Fast Floor. Stronger, faster, and affordable.
This is a Trasacco construction product.
Hello there, you're welcome to the only show that brings you happenings in the world of diplomacy and international relations. My name is Harriet Nati. The show comes off every Saturday on Pan-African television between the hours of 4 to 5 o'clock p.m. With me today is the Minister for Foreign Affairs of Hungary. Yes, he's in the country on the back of the 5th United Nations Peacekeeping Ministerial Meeting right here in Accra. And it is really important for me to emphasize on the fact that Ghana is the first African country to host this event. And so this means a lot to us as a country, as a continent, and we are super happy to be doing this. It's all about peacekeeping. It's all about bringing the world together. It's all about multilateralism. And with me today will be the Minister for Foreign Affairs for Hungary, and he is in the person of Péter Szijjártó. I hope I got the name right, Excellency.
Perfect, thank you.
I try. Welcome.
Yeah. Great seeing you.
Good to have you on the show. I'm just going to go straight to the point. You were talking about the importance of global peace. You talked about the regional chaos, conflict. You talked about Israel, Palestine. You talked about Russia, Ukraine. You're talking about the chaos in the Sahel when it comes to Africa. Let's talk about the United Nations, which is very fundamental to our conversation and why you are in our country. Is the UN really keeping to its purpose?
Look, we are living in a country in the neighborhood of which a war is going on. And I think no one would have believed a couple of years ago that the 21st century would be about a war going on the European continent. This is something very unimaginable, and something what we have not thought about ourselves, about Europe. Since the Middle East crisis has broke out and it's in our neighborhood, that's another security-related challenge being put on us. And then, of course, we have the threat of terror and the migratory crisis. One of the sources, which is the destabilized situation in the Sahel. You know that once the Sahel is being destabilized, once the countries are undergoing negative developments as they have been doing so, it is always a source for the additional waves of massive illegal migration towards the continent. So we Europeans are now in a situation that we are confronted with security-related challenges from many directions. And we really want these conflicts to be overcome. We really want these conflicts to brought towards peace. And we are a peace-loving country, a peace-loving nation. We do see the significance of dialogue, of peace talks, of ceasefire, and we urge all parties involved in such kind of security-related conflicts, armed conflicts, wars, to sit together, to sit around the same table, to negotiate about a peace deal, to establish ceasefire, because this is what can save lives of the people and which can make the lives of people better. So therefore, we are in favor of United Nations playing a bigger role when it comes to peacemaking and peacekeeping. Unfortunately, in the recent years, we have seen UN losing a lot of strength, a lot of capacity, a lot of effectiveness, unfortunately. And, you know, we do remember, I mean, everybody can remember, or remind at least ourselves, that when the United Nations have been designed, that was not designed for being a club of like-minded countries. That was designed to offer a platform for dialogue, for those who don't agree with each other, who are in a hostile relationship, who are in a war with each other. So therefore, we do believe that the United Nations should play a much bigger role there. We understand that in order to reach that goal, the capacities of the UN should be increased, including the peacekeeping capacities, the anti-terror capacities, and we Hungarians have always been ready to contribute to these goals of the UN to be fulfilled.
Obviously, no country can develop in the absence of peace.
Yeah.
So I think the UN has a lot of work to do. Now, I would want us to talk about Hungary and Africa, your foreign policy towards Africa. What are we looking at?
We understand that the population of Africa is growing really fast. And we all know that if the African countries are not developing in a way that they could keep their rapidly increasing population at home, then we in Europe will be faced with an even more serious challenge posed by the massive illegal migration which has been hitting the continent. So therefore we urge the European colleagues always not to encourage the African people to leave for Europe, not to encourage the African people to leave their homes, but to help the African countries with economic development, with investment, with creating jobs, to keep the population at home. So we Hungarians have been carrying out a lot of development projects on the continent, including water, sanitation, education, public administration, infrastructure development, and we are helping the Christian communities a lot on the continent in the framework of the program which we call Hungary Helps. You know, we are a Christian country, a Christian nation, a nation with a 1,000-year-long Christian statehood. So we do feel responsibility for the Christian communities all around the world, especially if they are in need. So therefore, we support a lot of African Catholic and Christian communities. We will continue to do so. There are some here in Ghana as well. So our focus is on economic development and investments, and thus job creation, of course.
Of course, economic diplomacy seems to have taken the center stage when it comes to conversations between countries. Let's talk about it. Let's zoom into the opening to the South policy.
Yep.
I know this is very important for you because this came into being in 2015 when you took over the presidency of the EU. Let's talk about how is it doing?
Look, we have been first time elected in 2010. Since then, we have been continuously in power. And first, we have introduced the opening to the East policy because we understood that the big Eastern companies will pick up with the level of standards when it comes to the Western companies. And it has been proved by the fact that China has been now number 2 when it comes to contribution or share of global GDP. European Union has been, slipped back to the 3rd position. And then in 2015, we have started to implement the strategy of opening to the South because we understood that the dynamism, the new impetus to global economy will come from Africa and from Latin America. And in the framework of this, we have been opening embassies. I have inaugurated the embassy here personally. We are opening representations. We are carrying out tied aid credit programs as we have been doing here in Ghana regarding 2 water treatment projects, both of drinking water and sewage water. So we do intensify our relationship with the African countries.
I would want us to go back slightly or just a bit and talk about economic diplomacy or the introduction of your business council here in Ghana. That is supposed to serve as a bridge between Hungary and Ghana or Ghana and Hungary. Recently, I was part of the media organizations that visited your embassy, and I was privileged to speak with some of the business delegations that came from Hungary to Ghana to explore business opportunities or partnerships on the back of agriculture, agro-processing, and all of that. I would want us, I do know that you are a small but very mighty country. I want to ask, what are some of the opportunities, practical opportunities? Oftentimes when I engage people, they're like, oh, Harriet, you know what? Ask the ambassador, ask the minister. What are some of the opportunities that we can begin to look at? Practicalities.
Yeah, look, since you have rightly mentioned, we are a small country with a small economy, therefore we have to be very focused when it comes to those industries where we can offer some good solutions, some good technology, some forward progress for your country. And definitely that is agriculture and food industry. We are a country which is traditionally based on agriculture. We produce twice as much as we consume. So we are exporting a lot of agricultural products, and we do take care about food security a lot. We are the only country in Europe which has put it into its constitution that agriculture and food industry both must be free of GMO. So therefore, we do care a lot about food security. So therefore, those products which we export are not only delicious but healthy in the meantime. And we understand that the global demand for food is becoming more and more sophisticated, and the healthy products are being looked at. On the other hand, the top industry of ours, which is, I think, among the most developed ones all over the world, is water management. We have been offering solutions here in Ghana as well. A Hungarian company has completed 3 projects on drinking water and on sewage water management plans. And now I have just met your Minister of Water and Sanitation, and we have been discussing about 2 additional projects where Hungarian companies could contribute to the safe supply of water of certain regions here in Ghana. And we also carrying out a good cooperation on the field of the printing industry. So basically, the new biometric passports of yours will be produced by a Hungarian company.
Interesting.
500,000 pieces a year, and for 13 years the contract is going to be signed. And we just started to deliver poultry meat to Ghana, and also on the field of medical industry. One of the leading Hungarian companies is planning to establish a medical technological hub here in Accra, because now technology has a ever-growing role when it comes to medication and curing and healthcare. So these are the areas where I think we have great opportunities to work together. The Joint Economic Commission should have its next session next year here in Accra, where the ongoing projects could be overviewed, and we are also moving forward with the negotiations about the the agreement of mutual support and protection of investment. So I think that those Hungarian and Ghanaian companies who would like to, who are interested in cooperation and who would like to cooperate are now having a very stable basis, as there are no open political issues, financial background, legal background. Those are all very well set and insured.
That's super to know that. I would want to find out what are some of were any MOUs or are any MOUs going to be signed? Yeah. I mean, as part of your visit to the country. Absolutely. I know this is very strategic.
No, absolutely. The most important agreement today will be signed between the biometric travel service company here in Ghana and the leading national printing company of Hungary, which will mean that for the upcoming 13 years, the biometric passport of the Ghanaian citizens will be produced in Hungary, 500,000 pieces every year.
All right. So my final question.
Please.
Obviously, I want to believe this is a win-win situation for both of our countries. Is that right? Absolutely. I would want us to wrap up with migration, which you talked about earlier. Let me just take you back one more time. Your stance on migration and approach, if I'm right to say, have been criticized by your fellow European countries.
Yeah, a lot.
And and so I want to know, you're very particular about keeping our people home. When I say our people, I'm talking about Africans. I'm looking at opportunities that you would want us to create for Africans as we collaborate together, so we can have the youth, the young people stay at home and also contribute to the development of our country. Lastly, what do you really make of, how critical the European Union is of you?
The European Union is attacking us on a daily basis on many issues. Why we are protecting our children, why we do believe in a traditional form of family, namely man as a father, a woman as a mother, and the children. Why we do believe in that marriage can only be made between a man and a woman. Why we are carrying out a patriotic economic policy and all this kind of stuff, and why we are against illegal migration. Look, I do believe that all countries have their sovereign right to make a decision whom they let enter the country and whom not. And every nation has the sovereign right to make a decision with whom they are ready to live together and with whom not. And no external pressure should be performed on any country in this regard, because that would be a violation of the sovereignty of that given country. We do believe that migration is a dangerous phenomenon. It's bad for the country of source because you lose your best mind. It's dangerous for the country of transit, and it's dangerous for country of destination, because the terrorists and the people with bad will can take advantage of these big flaws. They can hide. And the increased threat of terror in the Western European countries is due to migration. And the creation of the parallel society is due to migration as well. So the problem is that some Western European countries and Brussels itself, the bureaucracy in Brussels, are encouraging African people to leave. And our position is that we should not encourage anyone to leave his or her home, because it's bad to leave the home. So why don't we create circumstances which enable people to stay, to have good job, to have a good life? So therefore, we urge the European Union to carry out investments here, to encourage European companies to invest in the African countries, not only to buy the raw materials and take them away, but to process them here.
Adding value.
Yeah, create an added value. So for example, we in Hungary provide the African young people with 1,400 scholarships on an annual basis, among them 100 from Ghana. Where we give them good education, train them, so once they return to their home country, they can contribute to the economic development. And I think this is the right way to move forward. That's why we support the water sanitation programs. That's why we support job creation. That's why we support public administration to be modernized in order to improve the living standards and the living conditions here in the African countries. And once the living standards and living conditions are going to be improved, there will be much less people who would want to live. So this is a very unique position of ours in the European Union, because the others usually we are on the other side, but so far ours is successful.
So far, you are successful. Excellency, final words. Anything you want to tell the good people of Ghana or the entire African continent? Because we have the entire African continent watching.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here again, and I'm a great fan of the EU-Africa cooperation, and I'm a great fan of a cooperation based on mutual respect. So, you know, I don't like the Brussels approach on many occasions when they, you know, they try to judge, lecture, educate people and countries and governments here. And we always have been showing respect to the African people. We always accept their decisions. We never think that we would be smarter than them. We never lecture them. We never educate them. So I hope that that the EU-Africa cooperation will be based on this mutual respect and aiming at mutual benefits in the future.
Thank you very much for coming on the show. I really appreciate this. Great. Right, so the show has been Diplomatic Affairs. Like I said, the Hungarian Foreign Affairs Minister has been my guest on today's episode as we discuss the 5th United Nations peacekeeping ministerial meeting, which is happening here. By the time we put on the show, I'm sure it would be done. But we've been talking about relations between Hungary and Africa, and also Hungary and the Republic of Ghana, the various cooperation, collaboration, partnerships that, you know, is ongoing between our two countries, and how impactful that can be when it comes to the youth contributing to our country. So yes, he's not against migration entirely, but he means that we should do legal migration. Perhaps we can come for vacation, is that right? And come back to our homes, is that right? Yeah, so basically that is what it is. My name is Harriet Mate. His Excellency Péter Szijjártó has been my guest on today's episode. Thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you same time next week. Enjoy the rest of our programs.